Over the last year, we've been developing a new kind of electric powered delivery vehicle. Built in lightweight aluminium, it is a cleaner, kinder, more civilized way of moving things around.
Okay, so getting straight into it, where do we see the biggest opportunity for Remove in terms of end of use, but also geographically? What could people do with it?
The vehicle was conceived as some kind of cargo transporter, much smaller in scale than a little lorry, and kind of designed for shorter distances, the type of last mile delivery. We did think about cities, first of all, but I think it came clear quite soon in the project that rural areas, countries with a completely different infrastructure could also become interesting for this idea of transportation.
That's the beauty of electrification, that you actually can, with a very simple technology in a way, enable transportation that was before not possible. The combustion engine always needed quite a lot of vehicle around it, and now suddenly you can strip it down to the bare necessities again.
One of the evident upsides with the electric drivetrain is that there's nearly no maintenance. I mean, whether, it's not about romancing the idea of that, tinkery behavior of, taking down the motor on it, during the weekends. Yeah. It's the simplicity of not needing to tinker with the bike, which is great, the way I see it.
Exactly. And I think one of the things that I love about the project and this design is how much potential there is for people to adapt it and customize it in ways that even we haven't thought of yet.
Speaking about this kind of open system that we are creating, I want to remind that the project really started with the material from hydro and a technology that allowed us to build a very lightweight but strong platform, and that's how the project started.
No, I think it's a great material for this kind of vehicle actually, but I think it's so important for us as let's say material supplier to be involved early on, because it's really in this design phase where we really work together that we can make sure that the concept that we develop has the lowest possible impact, CO2 impact.
And if I can add also, I think you also made a really good choice in pairing Polestar with Hydro, who is an aluminium producer, because we see the huge impact that our material choices have in terms of how it's going to affect the climate, the product. We often talk about batteries as being really important to focus on. Of course they are, but we also really need to see more sustainable aluminium, more sustainable steel. And this is also where I just realize more and more that we are so interconnected. We really need each other in order to fulfill our climate goals. We are fully reliant on working with good partners. Otherwise, we can't do it.
This is only the beginning. We always say, come on, electromobility on our zero emission mobility journey is just the entry ticket. I think now we do the electromobility step, and then we have to refocus and say, come on, that was only the beginning. Now we really have to look at the whole chain, production, materials going in, and then of course, what materials we design with. And this stage is so much more exciting than the last 20 years when designers were busy making things pretty.
I wanted to end by talking about collaboration to everyone, really. And because, and this project has proved it to me, is that there is something really powerful about unexpected or collaborations.
This is what's been great with Wallpaper and this project, is that you have gathered together perhaps a group of people that would not normally work together in this capacity. And I really do think that is the future of not only e-mobility and e-mobility development, but all type of products that needs to be designed for more circularity or to be better, in terms of sustainability.
I felt like when you were talking about it, it's a little bit like, we all have our, band where we play our music and do our stuff. And this was really like a jam session where you know, for one evening you bring the musicians together in a very new constellation, and everybody brings his instrument, and we just kind of play something unexpected.
Free jazz.
I think I liked Thomas's image of the jam session, and I think that the whole project wouldn't have happened had we come together with a real plan, a strategy of building a vehicle to be launched, this and that. I think it had to happen like it did, with a phone call from you, Nick, to me, connecting me to Hydro, you know, first conversations with Hilde and you, and just kind of in a naive, none of us is naive really, but I think this kind of very light start of the project.
For my part, I mean, I've just been astounded by the generosity of people and the time and the energy and the thought and the commitment that people have offered to something that, you know, may or may not help change the world, but, you know, it's just on that level, and everybody's been very lovely. And on that level, it's, you know, this kind of collaboration is such a kind of joy and a learning thing, and so I wanted to thank everyone for you know, in the way they've taken part and committed to this. Okay, I think we're all done. So thank you for everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Great.